following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.
WLCN 96.3 FM. If you're on the go, listen to us on the Mixlr app, or you can watch our live feed on YouTube. Scott Kirby and Coach Al this morning. Looks like it's just us, Coach, so hope you're awake and full of knowledge, because I don't know where the other two bozos are, but they're a no-show. We are at the high school today. Another full slate of things going on at the high school, kicking off with the freshmen at 9:30, and then a varsity game at 2:30. JV game, no girls JV game today because Charleston had some injury bug, but the lady varsity Railers will be on at 2:30, and then followed up tonight with the Railers hosting Decatur Eisenhower. So another busy day out here, Coach.
Another busy one. We are missing one game, and we'll make sure everybody tries to get it out there that the JV girls game has been canceled, and it'll just be a varsity game at 2:30. So we didn't change the varsity time. We're just sticking with the same time that they were scheduled to play. So and again, we started at 9:30 this morning with a freshman boys game.
Well, last night, Coach, had Mattoon Green Wave here at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium, and the Railers, we talked post-game. Off to a slow start last night, but offense got it rolling. A couple of kids had to step up, and Hayes and, the sophomore back in that starting role, filling in for an injured Cook. A heck of a game last night by Hayes, and he's so versatile. That's just a weapon that you're going to be able to utilize in the next couple of years, and last night, boy, he seemed like he was all over the court.
Yeah, he's one that, kind of fits the role that what we're looking at our 4 spot. And, we've kind of had to, and it's nothing against the kids that have been there, but, we've tried to get back to the 4-man being really a point guard. And going back to the Central State 8, that's where we get our mismatches that we want to create. And, our 4-man over the course of time has always been able to handle the opponent's 4-man compared to the quickness of the guards and things for our point guards to take care of.
You say 4-man, and people are probably a little confused. They think 4-man's your power forward or, down low. But like you said, it's a mismatch. And if he can handle the ball, you see that in college and NBA right now, where you got 6'10" guys bringing up the ball just because.
You got 7-footers being point guards.
Yeah. Just handling the ball and bringing it up the court. And, like you said, it's a little less pressure, a little easier to break that press or, get the offense started.
Yeah, and it's a big help to us, and we've been away from it for 3 or 4 years here, but going back to the Central State 8 where athleticism and how people play in that conference is a little bit different than what's been at Apollo.
Tonight, Coach, you got Decatur Eisenhower coming to town. Very familiar with them. I don't know if when the last time we played them. It's probably been a little while, but we
played over there last year.
Oh, okay.
Stubbed our toes, and they're capable. They went into Lamphere and beat Lamphere by 10. It's been 3 or 4 weeks ago, but since then Lamphere's come back and have beaten them. But they're a very capable team. I think they've only got maybe 4 or 5 wins, but again, those are the danger teams because they're out pretty relaxed and playing and loose, and those can be dangerous.
Is Walker still the coach over there?
He's still the coach, and he's got I think he's got a son that's playing still, so, and I know he's got one out on the West Coast playing somewhere, so it's very well the knowledge coach that we'll be facing tonight. So we'll have to come with our guys ready to play.
Now it is an early start, 6:30 for varsity, 5 o'clock for JV. Just anybody listening, don't want you to show up at 7:30 and we're already into the third quarter. So it is an early start. So get on out here. Boy, season's winding down, Coach. Only maybe nine games games left or so, and we're into regionals.
Yeah, it's we got tonight, and then next week we got 3, following week 3, and then 2. We got 3 full weeks of regular season left. Girls is even shorter than that. I know their regional information has to be in the middle of this week, so the pairings for that I think will be out Saturday for their regional, which starts in a couple weeks.
And that was going to be my question to you, Coach. When do the boys regionals? When do those assignments come out?
I'm guessing they'll be February 8th is a Wednesday. You'll have to have all your information in. Thursday will be the seeding, and then Friday, the 10th, I believe that pairings will be out. 16th is our last home game, so usually it's the last weekend prior to your last game.
Any inkling or any idea maybe where we may head? I know it's the IHSA, you just never know, but any idea or any maybe guesses just to entertain our listeners?
Well, if I guess, I would think we'd be at Champaign Central. The other host in our subsectional is Normal West, and I believe Normal West will be a 2 or 3 seed. So if they're a 2 seed, we'll be at Champaign Central. I don't think they'll send the 1 seed to the 3 seed when there's other schools. I think Morton will be in the top 3. So it's a lot easier to send Morton to Normal West and Lincoln to Champaign Central. So there's a lot of finagling that goes around, and if they do the true seeding by 1-8, 2-7, 3-6, 4-5, we would definitely end up in Champaign Central.
Well, if they do the right thing.
If they do the right thing.
That's the ultimate question. We've predicted things before, been completely wrong. But, either way, no matter where you go, you still gotta play it. Just, sometimes it's the luck of the draw, where it's a matchup thing, and, sometimes it doesn't work out in our favor, but more times than not it does.
Well, the state tournament's all about matchups and, and luck. Can somebody else clip somebody where you're not matched up very well?
Right.
And they match up against an opponent that's better, and it's all about matchups, and and that's why you play the games, is because there can be some upsets and things, and that's how teams advance in the state tournament. So we need some help from other people as we move through the tournament and so forth. So again, another year is coming to a close, and right now we're working on spring sports and trying to get pretty much stuff ready to go there. I know track is indoor, has the kids that aren't involved in winter sports are starting to work out with the track team, and the track is usually the first one that can start. Official start date was January 16th on that, and they've got some indoor meets coming up here pretty quick. So we're heading to the springtime, and we'll just have to see how the weather goes.
Well, springtime should be pretty exciting around here, Coach, with softball and baseball having new turf. So that means hopefully less cancellations, getting more games in, and brand new facilities out there. I see some bleachers being put together, so some things happening around here.
Yeah, the bleachers will be put around the softball and the baseball field. So we're excited to see how they're going to come about and everything. So we Mr. Strickland is doing a very, very good job of updating our facilities that try to get them caught up to other facilities around the area. So
yeah, it looks good out here. Just to get back to basketball real quick, Coach, not to look too far ahead, but that's what we do here. What type of team gives the Railers a fit, and what type of team would you like to see, the up and down, or the team that kind of pulls it back and slows it down?
Yeah, very, very physical and aggressive teams gives us fits. We struggle with those teams at the rebounding end, and we won a couple games with Rock Island and Bloomington Normal West, and we didn't decide to rebound until the fourth quarter. And it was a bloodbath, at Normal West. The third quarter, I don't think we got a rebound, and in the fourth quarter, we finally decided that that's the way we're going to win, and our kids done a much better job. And I can't convince them that we need to try 32 minutes of that.
Right.
It'd make things a lot easier on them. So that's basically the biggest and the toughest thing that we have. A big physical inside man really gives us fits.
Well, I know a priority this year for you was rebounding, and you put the contraptions on the basket.
Yeah, we tried everything.
Well, we didn't know if you left those on there last night, that first quarter, because
they're invisible.
The shots just weren't going down. They were just offside the rim. And
sometimes you got to hit the rim to see if it's on there. So.
Yeah. So, well, Coach, it's been a fun year so far. It's flown by. A lot of basketball, like every season does, and it's a team that you look out there and the opponent walks in and you're thinking, well, these guys, they don't look too good, but they're just so fundamentally sound. How important are fundamentals? Just being from 5 years old all the way up. If you tell those younger coaches, as far as the rec league and moving up through your grade school and your junior high, what would you tell those coaches to work on? Wins aren't everything at that younger age.
Nope.
Is it it's just fundamentally sound basketball and basketball IQ, which I think is a big thing for these kids. A lot of kids don't really know situational basketball. They've got one speed, and it's go. There
were some bad shots taken, and it swings the games, and a saying is more bad shots and bad plays when you start complaining about officials, but more bad shots lose games than bad officiating. So But you got to make sure you can dribble, pass. I've said all along that shooting cures a lot of things in basketball. If you can shoot the basketball, get it off quick, because people do not let Lincoln catch and shoot. They know that we spend a lot of time on our shooting, and we are going to shoot. And there was one year we had a saying on our shirts: if you can't dunk, shoot the three. So we spend a lot of time shooting a three.
Yeah, well, and it usually pays off for you. You know, it's we don't have too many people that can dunk around here, so and a three's worth more than a dunk. So it's a good mentality. If they're going down, you can live and die by the three. And
you bet.
Last night we weren't hitting, at the beginning, and then Hayes, start getting to the rim, and then Bivin and Saucy, they can do it as well. Would you like to see a little bit more getting to the rim instead of just?
That's our.
I know it's easier said than done, but
Peyton, 6'6", 6'7", and being a backup post player, he's more of a face-up guy that faces a basket and so forth. And you have to score in the paint, so you have to find somehow to do it. And with our offense, it looks like we're trying to hold it on the perimeter, but really we're trying to find a seam to get to the basket to shoot layups. And there's some things you have to be able to do. The ball needs to go through the paint, either with the dribble, the pass, or somehow it needs to get to the paint, and then you can score from there. We're a whole lot much better shooting at the three-pointer if the ball goes inside and comes out.
Comes back out.
We just call that the basic inside out, and you watch most college teams play. They want to touch the paint, but inside out shots are usually pretty high percentage shots.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of that last night, Coach, where, we'd get Hayes down there and even Bivin and Saucy kick it out to an open Gowan or Nelson.
Keon done a nice job getting in and setting our shooters up last night. And then, a saying that we have is, and you get an assist for it, but people don't realize that the passer's part of the shot. You know, if I'm passing you the ball and I'm throwing it at your feet or your hips or way above your head, shooting's all about rhythm, and the passer's got to give the shooter the ball in rhythm to be able to make a high percentage shot. So there's a lot of little things, you know, that you know, if a guy fumbles the ball, catches it and fumbles it, he should never shoot it unless it's a last second offense that you have to throw it up there, because again, it breaks your rhythm on how smooth your shot is, and the smoother your shot, the better chance you have it to go in.
Just real quick on the injury front, I know Cook's battling a little knee issue, and then Keon went down last night with a little twisted ankle. Came back, he looked fine. Probably taped it up a little bit, and
yeah, you know,
and I don't think he missed a beat. It's just
you ask Keon, you know, what's wrong, and nothing. You know,
he's just a tough little kid.
Yeah, and you know, he went back out there, and I thought he twisted an ankle, knee, pulled a groin. I didn't know what, but he said no, he was fine. So Peyton's got a bruise so right at the base of where the muscle attaches, which is a tender spot, and you know, he's basically day to day on where he stands on, you know, his playing time. You know, he didn't practice Wednesday. Thursday he tried and struggled with it, and you know, we'll have to see what shoot around brings this morning.
Well, I'm sure you got the trainers on him, getting them all loosened up and iced up, and hopefully he'll be able to, you know, get out there just a little bit. But I know you'd rather have him down the stretch than, I mean, every game's important, don't take me wrong, but you really want him down the stretch for when you get closer to regionals.
Well, no doubt you want to be healthy then, and, you know, nobody's healthy at this time of year. You know, you've played all year, you've played, you know, what are we, I don't know.
18-4.
Okay, we played 22 games, and you play 20, 25 games a year, and you know, it's you're going to have bumps and bruises.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I know you got some things to do today. We got the wrestlers rolling in here. We're going to talk to them. They've had a pretty good season so far, haven't they? And they're getting close.
Coach Dietrich does a great job with them, and you know, their season's completed, and I think they go to regional next Saturday.
Wow.
And again, another season that's completely flown by, and you know, it's unbelievable how time goes right now.
You've seen a lot of them, haven't you?
Yeah, it really goes by quick. And, and then before I get done here, I just want another reminder that the JV girls basketball game has been canceled today, and the varsity plays at 2:30. So we will be starting at 2:30. So if you're not doing anything, come on out. You know. Again, they're playing exceptional basketball, and you know, they're coming down the stretch, and I think they've got a big game Tuesday over at Mount Zion. I think Mount Zion's in second place or tied for second with Taylorville, so they've got those two people coming up here Tuesday, and then next Tuesday, the 7th, is we moved the Taylorville game too, and that'll be a good test for our kids.
All right. Well, Coach, thanks again, and we'll see you tonight as Decatur Eisenhower comes to town, and hope we get another dub on there.
Okay, hopefully.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. We come back, we're going to have Coach Dietrich and the senior wrestlers. More than that? Okay. Well, we're going to have a whole show full, so stay tuned. You're in the cheap seats, WLCN 96.3 FM.
We scored?
Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what?
Yep, that's mine.
I'm going to need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
This is Tim Kirkchin from ESPN, and you're listening to Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM, WLCN with Joe, Jake, and Shabadoo.
FM. We are at Lincoln Community High School, and joining us now is Coach Dietrich, and he's got some wrestlers here today.
Yeah, we're ready to get there. I see him eyeing those donuts over there.
Yeah, well, they're more than welcome to have one.
No, not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
They got to make weight?
They got 3 weeks.
Well, 3 weeks, and then they can have.
And then they can have donuts.
That's just a teaser. I guess we probably shouldn't have brought him here, but that's just self-control.
That's right. It's self-discipline.
So we got a couple seniors, a couple juniors here today, Coach. Just fill us in a little bit about how the season's going. I know it's towards the end. You got regionals coming up. You got your JV squad out today. Tell us how the season's going so far.
It's been a good season. It's been an enjoyable season. Kind of coming in, we didn't didn't really know what to expect just because we knew we were going to be really young. I think we have, I'd have to actually count it up, I think we have 7 or 8 guys on the team this year who have never wrestled before. I think we have 27, 28 guys on the roster, so just a lot of inexperience, but it's been fun. It's been fun kind of teaching that group the sport of wrestling, you know, especially if it's something that they didn't grow up watching, you know. And this last week I gave them some homework. I had them go home and watch YouTube matches, and they had to score them on a score sheet, and they had to turn them in last night. Just trying to help build like the mentality and help build their awareness of like the sport. And so it's been fun to teach that group, but at the same time we've got, you know, a few guys that are ranked in state and that are having really good seasons, and so kind of like trying to balance being able to push our better guys up at the top and then still bring those inexperienced guys along. And really, as a dual team, we've gotten pretty good the last couple of weeks. We went through a rough patch right in the middle of the season where I think we went through 4 or 5 cycles of the flu. We went through some injuries and just kind of battled some things. And when you're really young and inexperienced, you know, guys are learning how to manage their weight and do things like that. So, but we've kind of settled in, and we're, you know, doing a pretty good job now. And we finished our dual season Thursday night. We took a loss to Auburn, who they're really tough every year. They wrestle us really hard. But we wrestled well. We competed well in the dual. And then we beat Lanphier and Warrensburg to finish out the season. And so it was nice finishing 2-1 on Thursday night, and now we're focused on our regionals next Saturday.
How long you been coaching?
This is my 10th season.
10th season?
As head coach, yeah.
Okay. Now, you talk about fundamentals. We talked to Coach Al earlier about just the basic fundamentals of basketball IQ, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with wrestling, too. You say you have a lot of new kids out. They don't necessarily know the fundamentals of wrestling or even wrestling IQ. Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah.
As being a smart wrestler and not just, I guess, a bonehead and go out there and just go full bore.
Yeah.
From day one, when you started as the head coach till 10 years later, how do you implement those fundamentals? I know you guys have a fantastic youth program that Coach Landers and several other people that take care of that. That's probably where you guys started. So how do you, I guess, implement those fundamentals and that IQ to a newcomer to the team?
Yeah. Well, one thing that we've really pushed is coaching to a full team. I think a lot of people from the outside view wrestling as an individual sport, because when you're watching it, it's one guy out there wrestling one other guy, and so you just see that one-on-one. But our belief and our philosophy is we're going to build our team as a whole, and then as we do that, they're going to make each other better throughout a season, and they're going to help push each other. And a really good example, last night I watched a couple guys, one of our better varsity wrestlers literally stayed in the mat room last night after practice and was working with one of our JV guys and just helping him work on a sit out and do stuff like that. And that to me shows like when you are rooting for your teammates and you want to see your teammates get better, they want to see you get better, and that helps push. And as a coach, I try and focus on helping them become fans of the sport and stuff like that. But I also want to push the team as a whole, and then I like it when they're pushing each other, because I can't individually push 30 guys, but I can help grow the group, and our coaches can help grow the group, and as they grow, they help each other. So.
Yeah, and that's where your upperclassmen come into play. You get on them, and it just kind of trickles down, and go that way. Now you talk about team. I never grew up around wrestling. I don't know anything about it. Isn't there like a team score? Okay, so I mean, you win as a team. So if the other guys are winning their match, that helps out your team score. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And sometimes, one of the things that's kind of been enjoyable about this team is, we've had some guys individually that getting your weight down to a certain weight class and being the bigger guy at a smaller weight class is the ideal situation.
Right.
But sometimes what you can do in duels is you can bump guys up a weight to help fill out weight classes, because sometimes if we have a good backup, then maybe we can slide him into the lineup and move a couple of guys, and now all of a sudden, instead of covering 2 weights with 2 good guys, you can cover 3 weights with 3 good guys. And that's kind of our philosophy about building our team up, is we want to be able to use our backups and use those guys into those spots.
So there's strategy going into these
absolutely.
meets. It's not just you weigh 145 pounds, go. It's matchups and then just putting these kids in the right situation.
And that's what I love about, again, I think from people looking on the outside that don't see it, I was really fortunate. I wrestled on 3 really good teams at Olympia back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that's all our coaches talked about was team. And we placed in 3 state tournaments, and it was what's neat about that, and Isaac got to see it his freshman year, Nico got to see it his freshman year, when we qualified to that team sectional, it literally, all of a sudden, you're relying on a guy who maybe has a 10-20 record on the season, but his job is to go out and not get pinned. And that's all of a sudden that strategy. So maybe he's wrestling a state-ranked kid, but if his job is don't get pinned and give up the big points, and he can save you 3 points, then that's strategy. And the fun thing about the team aspect of dual team wrestling is you can have you can have your 4 or 5 state ranked kids, but it might be a guy that's wrestled JV for you all season that you need to fill in a weight, and that might be the guy that wins you the duel because he doesn't get pinned, and it makes those matches exciting. And now all of a sudden that guy who isn't quote unquote one of your best wrestlers, now all of a sudden he's contributing and he has his opportunity to fill that spot,
to help out the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not be selfish and try to obviously you want to get the win, but you also like you said, it's all strategy, a chess match, and that's all confusing to me. So let's get to some of these some guys here, the Brave coming on there. We'll start down here on the edge here. What's your name?
I'm Jacob Lawrence.
And what grade?
Junior.
A junior. And now your uncle is one of the coaches.
Yeah.
Is he a little hard on you?
Yeah.
Take it.
Kind of.
Yeah. Probably at home. Maybe around Christmas you guys out there and showing you some moves and stuff. And
not really. It's not really. It doesn't really go home. It's just in the mat room. He's always on us, but he's on all of us. He cares. He wants us to get better.
Absolutely. Is he pretty intense?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long you been wrestling? You've been wrestling since you're just a little kid, right?
This is my 12th season.
12th season, and what? You're probably 16, 17? 16. So pretty much since you were born into it, yeah. So what draws you to wrestling? Is that the only sport you play?
No, I play golf too, but wrestling, I don't know. I've always just done it. I like the individuality. You don't constantly have to rely on your teammates, and I don't know. I've just always enjoyed it.
Yeah. Now, what's your go-to move?
Neutral, probably like an outside single. On top, I'm a big leg rider.
That means nothing to me. Why don't you demonstrate? I'm going to pass.
We'll show you.
Haven't met my deductible yet for insurance, so we don't want to. Imagine
trying to hit a stand or trying to stand up on your leg with one leg while the other guy.
Okay, gotcha. So you got a detail. I know the flying squirrel was a thing, but that's illegal now, and so.
You can ask Dietrich about the leg riding. He enjoys it all the time at practice.
Yeah.
He's screaming and crying and on the mat. And
there we go.
Yeah. I made the mistake earlier in the season of we had JV. We're out at a tournament or a duel or something, and so I just had a handful of varsity guys back, and I what did I do? Put 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
And I said anybody that could turn me in 30 seconds. I can't even remember what the deal was, but I couldn't sleep for a couple of nights.
You had to run double
I physically couldn't sleep, So I just I come home and my wife gets on me funny about. She already knows. Like as soon as I walk in the door, she's like, "You wrestled today, didn't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Why do you do this?
Well, you get caught up in a moment. You know, you see these young kids out here, and you're probably trying to relive your old days. And I know you miss it. Yeah, exactly. Any match this year that stands out? Any favorite moment? You know, either on or off the mat.
Not much. The finals of the Morton tournament was pretty cool. Doing the walkout, they announced your name and everything.
Yeah. So regionals coming up. What weight class are you in?
138.
138. And how does he fare in that?
Good. He's got a really good shot to have been through the postseason. So all of these guys have an opportunity to wrestle down the state tournament. So.
All right. You want to give a shout out to anybody?
My mom and dad for always being there to support me at tournaments, meets, wherever we're at, anywhere, they're there.
Perfect. That's probably one of the best shout-outs we've ever had. A lot of people say, no. All right, we'll move up to this guy here. He's raring to go. What's your name?
My name's Nico Sundin.
Okay, and what, you a senior?
Yes.
Yeah, and how long you been wrestling?
7 years.
7 years. On what weight class?
195.
195. So is that considered heavyweight, or is that, no?
No, it goes 220, then heavyweight. I'm the third heaviest weight.
What is, I mean, what would you consider the toughest weight class? I mean, or is there? I mean, obviously it's
yeah. The middle weights are always the deepest.
Okay.
Just because if you think about what's an average sized high school kid, athletic kid.
So in the middle, probably towards like 160.
Deep weights.
Okay. Yeah. And what's your favorite move? What's your go-to?
Well, right now it'd probably be my duck under to the high C. I've been trying to work on with my shots this year.
Okay. And I didn't. What's your record? I didn't ask you that. Ooh. Not that it matters. If you don't want to throw it out.
I think 30.
I think it's like 33-12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
That's impressive. And you?
I don't even know mine. I know it's about 20 wins.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any favorite moment this year? Any match? Any?
It would probably be at the Muhammad tournament. I finally beat my normal community kid.
Your nemesis?
After so long.
Yeah. You see a lot of that, don't you, over the years where, you know, these matchups.
They stay at the same weights, but they just keep wrestling each other.
Just get sick of seeing them. And yeah. Any future plans? You know, being the big senior on campus, do you have any plans for next year?
Joining a union for HVAC.
The what?
The union for HVAC.
What's that?
He wants to go into the union.
Oh, okay.
Go in the union for an HVAC.
Gotcha. All right. Senior year winding down here. We're already in January, and boy, it flies by, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah. It's pretty nice from going to the low guy on campus to the big dog.
Yeah, it does, but I'm not just done yet. I plan on making the state this year.
Yeah.
That's my big goal right now, is to make it for my last year being here.
Absolutely. That's a pretty good goal. And regionals start this coming weekend?
Upcoming weekend.
And where's that at?
Chatham.
Chatham? Okay. All right, we'll move on to my left here. And your name?
Kanai Carson.
Kanai Carson.
Yeah.
You don't play basketball?
I used to, not anymore.
No? Well,
we've moved on from that.
Yeah.
We got him to change his mind.
Yeah.
Keon,
we're growing.
Your brother?
Yeah, my older brother.
Yeah, and you're a junior?
Yeah.
Right, okay. He's your older brother?
By 2 minutes, yeah.
Now I'm just confused.
Brothers.
Older brother, I guess you gotta. So how long you been wrestling?
Well, this is my first year of high school wrestling, but I took a couple years off. I stopped wrestling in 5th grade and played basketball, and then I came back to it. So like from my kindergarten to 5th grade, and then this year now. So it's been.
I think Coach Dawson is your uncle.
Yeah, Coach Dawson is my uncle.
Well, yeah, you got to wrestle then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any favorite moment during your wrestling career so far? I know you got a year left.
Definitely probably beating my Taylorville kid. He beat me at the Muhammad tournament, and then we had a duel against him the next week, and I beat him. So that was just a nice feeling to show I could have beat him the first time. So it was just a nice feeling, I guess.
And what's your record?
I don't know, honestly.
I think you're like 22-22. You're right.
Yeah.
For him, not wrestling for the last couple of years and then coming out as a junior, like I really had a lot of respect for him because that's hard to do, and especially it would have been easy for him to say like I'm just going to go get in the weight room and and do stuff like that. And I've really enjoyed working with Kanaya this year because he's worked hard, but he's improved. And in my mind, I mean, he's an athlete, he's a great athlete, but wrestling is just, it's a different animal as far as like learning moves. And he's had about as good a season as I thought. Like if you would have asked me back in November, like, hey, if Kanai finishes with 22 wins on the season, how would you feel about that? And I would be like ecstatic as far as the type of season he had. And he's improving, and I don't think he's done improving. And I'm excited for him for his postseason. So,
well, we know his older brother is quick on the court.
Yeah.
Is he just as fast on the mat?
Kanai's tough. Yeah, he's fast. He's strong.
He's pretty fast, huh?
And he hit I saw that video that you posted of your blast double. He had a really nice takedown against Landfair kid the other night, and Coach Lawrence has been working on that with him, and so it's nice to see him. I mean, like I said, he's literally improving week to week, but he's put in the time and put in the work, and it's been fun.
You play football too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, just wait till he's lighting people up on a football field with that takedown right there.
Heck yeah, that's a tackle there, so he can transition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. And you probably get a lot of those football guys, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
And I mean, wrestling's strength, and it's quickness, strength, and all the above.
Yeah.
But,
and Coach Sokowski's done a really good job on helping us and get our numbers up, and because we had a lot of new, like young freshman, sophomore football players come out this year, and I know it was because the football program pushed it really well, and it's helped us a ton. And we get we get that rotation of guys that come through, and it's nice that when you can take a guy from coming off a football season and then he can come into the mat room and we can kind of help him focus on even I tell guys, hey, we'll help you with your footwork, we'll help you with your hands, we're going to teach you how to block and how to tackle and do those basic things, and it transitions pretty well. So
yeah. Any did I ask you favorite moment? I think I did, didn't I? Okay. Got 1 year left being a junior, so we look forward to seeing good things from you.
Thank you.
So stick with it, and listen to Coach here. He knows a little bit about wrestling.
Yeah.
All right, let's go down here on the end. What's your name?
Isaac Decker.
Isaac Decker. Now we know you play football, and how long you been wrestling?
This is my 11th year, I think.
11th. Well, you were on here for football. I don't know why you were nervous earlier. I mean, this is. I mean, you're like a natural here. 11th year wrestling. What do you? That's probably a loaded question. Football or wrestling? What's your preferable sport? I mean,
it's tough. I love them both.
Well, there you go. Just say I love them both.
I'm be honest. Wrestling's harder.
Yeah.
It's not a thought at all. Wrestling's harder.
Yeah.
I feel more natural at football, but I think I might be better at wrestling.
Okay.
But I love them both.
Yeah,
so.
That's absolutely. And they kind of go, like we said earlier, hand to hand, wrestling and football, both aggressive sports, and you got to take people down, so or avoid them.
Yeah.
Any favorite moment this year?
Well, I got a couple. One's probably my Muhammad tournament finals. I had no idea who the kid was. I just knew he was tough. And I went out there. He got the first takedown, I think, midway through the first. And I was like, man, this kid's strong. But then right after I was like, man, this kid's strong, I was like, I'm not going to lose this match. And I came back and ended up winning. And then another memory I have is I've wrestled one kid 3 times this year from Normal West. And the first time I wrestled him, it was 4-0. I beat him. And then the second time it was 7-2. And I just noticed that I got a little better and I got a little more comfortable wrestling. And the third time I was winning 13-2, and I ended up sticking them and pinning them.
Yeah.
And I loved seeing the progression I've had this year and seeing how much better I've gotten, how much more comfortable I've gotten wrestling.
Yeah, and then confidence has a big issue. Yeah. I mean, that's probably a big role on how these kids compete. And I mean, how do you get that confidence level up there? Because, anybody can beat anybody if, you're having an off night or, you get in the wrong position and get pinned. So confidence has to be a pretty big.
I think a lot of it, especially for Isaac, and when we've had our talks and stuff, Isaac has been willing to make himself uncomfortable, like in the mat room and in the practice room. And he's, I'm going to be honest, it's really common to see, especially when, like, Isaac's been wrestling for 11 years, and it'd be really easy to say, like, well, he just, coming into his senior year, he won 40 matches last year as a junior, and it'd be really easy to say, like, well, we know who he is, and he is who he is, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling you, like, Isaac has taken steps forward this year that I really believe that he's one of the best wrestlers in the state. I think he believes it too, and I know he's got his eye on a couple of guys that, for lack of a better word, have not wanted to wrestle him in season, and I don't know if he's going to get that chance or not, but I know that he's focused on himself, and we've talked about, like, he mentioned his Muhammad tournament. That day when I would talk to him, I could see he's mentally understanding that he was just on a mission that day, and he wasn't focused on who he had to wrestle, or like he said, he didn't even know the kid. I can tell you this, as his coach, I knew him, and I knew it was going to be a really tough match for him. And it was a kid from up north that was like 22-1, and where he's from is a really good wrestling school, and but Isaac didn't care, and it's hard to get guys to that level, but he's at that level right now, and I'm really looking forward to his postseason, because I really think he's not even done getting better yet. And so all of these guys, like all these guys, Jake left earlier, but all four of them have been great leaders. I was talking earlier about how many young new guys we have in the room, and those young guys have had really good leaders to look up to this year, and guys that have pushed them. They handle themselves correctly at school. They live their lives right, and I think that's the most important thing. And when you're doing those things, then we can focus on getting better in wrestling.
Now, I probably asked you this in earlier interviews, but as far as going into matches, who these kids are going to probably face up against, or even into regionals.
Yeah.
So as a coach, do you do like a lot of scouting, a lot of film work to try to figure out maybe their opponent's weaknesses or tendencies?
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. It's kind of like a catch-22, because I feel like maybe in like a sport like basketball, football, baseball, you can set your lineup differently. You can, hey, here are plays that we're going to call. Here are we're going to give put our team in situations they can win. In wrestling, it's really just about you going out and dictating, the pace of the match and the positions that you get into. And we do talk a little bit about, hey, this guy might do this guy might do that, but we really, in wrestling, you want them to focus on what can you control, because you can't control what these other guys are doing, but you can control your situation. So
it's probably more in-match adjustments.
Yeah, and like where some of these guys have gotten to, having the comfort level to not be overwhelmed in a match, and like where you feel like everything's moving at 200 miles an hour, and when you get to that point where you're just breathing and you're just wrestling and you're not thinking too much, which is a hard thing to do. It's because wrestling is so mentally tough, and you have to visualize, and you have to mentally overcome a lot. And then we tell them to go out into a match and shut their brain off. Yeah, and it's a hard thing to do, but when you reach a really high level, you can do that, and you're just going out and almost having fun. So.
Well, I know you're going to play football next year. Do they have wrestling over there too? Where are you going to?
I haven't committed yet.
Oh, I thought you did already.
No, I'm looking. I think I'm going to end up at Illinois College.
Okay. I thought you were looking at, who was it? It's like a maroon and gold school, wasn't it? No?
Eureka.
No, I thought
Maybe you're thinking.
maybe I'm thinking a different kid when we interviewed you back in the fall. Jim, you remember? No, I didn't think so.
It's probably somebody
so you're still undecided, huh? Illinois College, a little closer to home, so they got a good program over there. Play on the turf, and hopefully one day we'll have turf.
Fellow Lincoln Railer wrestler coaching over there football.
Coach Reed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Riley Reed wrestled for
really?
us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I think didn't O'Donohue just commit over there?
Ryan.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. That'd be fun. Well, good luck on that. You got a little time. Think it out and
just waiting to see.
Tough decision, isn't it? Yeah, tough decision. Well, Coach, I know you do a great job with this program and really built it up. I know you had a lot of help behind the scenes and. Winning cures all diseases, I should say. And, you got kids coming back out for wrestling that, like you said, haven't, done it or ever done it. And, that's got to be a pretty big compliment to your program, because who wants to go to a program that it stinks,
Oh, yeah.
They want to jump on board to a winning tradition.
And before I came down to Lincoln, I coached at a couple small schools that struggled getting numbers out and the community maybe didn't support it as well. And it's tough. I like that brotherhood that wrestling kind of creates, and I want a full room, and like we said, of guys getting better, and that's when it's fun. It's wrestling's a really hard sport, but it's really hard if you only have 5 or 6 guys out on a team, and like some schools struggle to keep their numbers up. And that honestly has probably been one of my, most important or hardest focuses, is just keeping our numbers up. And we want 20 to 25 to this year. We've been almost, I think we started at 30. I think we're at 27, 28 right now. But I like a lot of our younger guys. They're good kids. And I think, now that they've been able to watch these good leaders, that's so important, to just see hey, this is how we do it. This is this is how we handle business. So.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for coming on today. I know you got a big weekend coming up.
Yeah.
Hopefully a good week of practice, which I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
And, and you said you're going to, where was it at?
Go to Chatham. Next Saturday. Okay. And then Highland Sectional the following Friday, Saturday. And then we're going to have some guys wrestling down in Champaign here in a couple weeks. That's what I like to hear.
So that's what I like to hear.
Ready to get, and Shannon Kelly is the announcer down there. So it's pretty cool, all the Railer wrestling ties that we kind of have all over the state. And
I'm sure that would just make his weekend, too, to be able to announce some Lincoln kids coming out, and that's exciting. So that's got to give you guys a little bit of a boost and a goal, and I'm sure you've seen it before, how they walk out and just
pretty. It really is. I'm a fan of all high school sports, and I want Lincoln, all Lincoln athletics, performing at the highest level. But I have to say I'm biased about the wrestling state tournament, because if you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen the finals, it is awesome.
Yeah, I've seen videos, never been in person.
It is pretty impressive to be there. So,
well, guys, good luck. Hit it hard this week, and then hopefully we'll interview you right before your state tournament.
Thanks for having us on, guys.
All right, guys, no problem. And we'll take another break. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up here on the Cheap Seats, WLCN 96.3 FM.
Donating pet food can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart, and so they need you to stand with them.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. So if you want to talk to your kids, you got to get it trending. I was just trying to get your attention.
Could I just ask?
Visit talkaboutVaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
This is John Flowers, and you're listening to Cheap Seats with Joe, Jake, Jim, Lloyd, and Shabadoo on 96.3 FM WLCN.
Seats, Scott Kirby and just Scott Kirby. Everybody else ditched me today, so I'm going solo. But luckily we had some good guests. Coach Neil Alexander joined us at 9 o'clock, talk about some boys basketball, and then Coach Dietrich, and he had a few kids with him as well. They've got regionals coming up this weekend in Chatham, so get on over there and support your Lincoln Wrestlers. And today, get on out. We got the freshmen playing now. I guess they're up by 3 at halftime, we were informed by Nick, and we got the girls, varsity girls, playing at 2:30. No JV game for the girls today, just varsity at 2:30, and then the boys will wrap up the nightcap with JV starting at 5 and varsity to follow roughly 6:30. Playoff football this week. We got a big matchup in the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got, Lloyd? Tampa. He likes Tampa. And Jim likes the Bears. Boy, I don't know. That'd be a good game. That's a tough one to call. The Bengals have had the Chiefs number, but Lloyd's all over the Chiefs, so that means the Bengals will win. And then we got the 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Lloyd's a big Philly fan, just not Eagles. So it'd be a good game. You got a rookie quarterback for the 49ers and Purdy doing pretty well. But how do you handle that pretty solid Eagles team? Well, I guess I'm done babbling. It's 10 o'clock, and I've got nobody to direct this to, so we're just going to end it. I'd like to thank Coach Dietrich, for coming on today. Good luck to them, and then get on out and support your teams today. That's going to do it for us here today. We'll see you next week. Good day.
The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.